So this is what I call my turn your sunshine around stage. So this is my turn your sunshine, whatever it's called, turn your sunshine around. So this is the idea that you're turning your sunshine within. So instead of looking outside of yourself for happiness, you start looking within yourself for happiness. Or instead of looking outside of yourself for ideas, you look inside of yourself for ideas. So it's turn your sunshine around, right? Or it means that you're making the best of the worst situation, right? Or the best of a worst case scenario. Or you're making do with the situation with what you have, but you're looking on the bright side of things, right? You're for instance, like that article that I read, what kind of shitty sandwich do you want to eat for the rest of your life, right? Or like this bird who keeps flying around and then plummeting. Head first into the water as hard as he possibly could to catch a fish. Right? It's like, do you think that bird enjoys it? Well, I don't know. Probably not. I don't think I would enjoy going head first, but he's got to do it for survival, right? And part of that is that is the nature of the beast and the nature of life. But he goes so hard into it, right? So it's like making the best of a shitty situation, or turning your sunshine around. You gotta turn your sunshine around, friends. Right? So for instance, the bird, instead of focusing on the massive headache it probably endures, well, probably not, because that's what it's designed for, right? Now, and I get it, I know. But, if you were thinking of something like that, right? Now, like, take it and turn it into a human. So this is the perfect concept, okay? So take humans, for example, who are in jobs that they fucking hate. They're absolutely miserable, right? And they don't like the schedule. They don't like the work that they're actually doing. They don't enjoy the process of doing the work. They just they do their job because, it pays the bills. Now, I get holding on to that job for X amount of time, but as soon as it started to become something that wasn't in line with your stuff, your life, wouldn't you try and change that? Right? Now, like, I understand, like, kids get in the way. I understand that, like, and I'm not saying that kids get in the way on purpose, right? But, like, if people are planning to have marriages or families, like, you have to grow within. You have to build from within, right? And if your family isn't if you're not happy within, how can you be happy with the family, right? How can you grow? How can that sunshine grow so that you're not affecting your family, right? So say you have a human who's got a job that they hate. They go to work and they hate it, and they come home and maybe they're not happy about the communication issues, but they haven't done a job or something that they enjoy, right, during the day. So they're drained when they get home. If they don't have a way to restore themselves before they get home, those negative energies and negative patterns are going to feed the rest of the family for the rest of the night, or whoever's there, right? So you got to turn the sunshine within to heal within, so that you can be a better wave, or be a better partner, be a better affect the rest of the world better, I guess. Or so your rays can shine their light on others. sunshine. That wasn't the point. The point was you turn your sunshine around. You're turning your sunshine around. I didn't really have a concise way to put this yet. I haven't really thought it through. But turn your sunshine around basically means that you are trying to find the best of a shitty situation, or you're trying to make the most of a shitty situation. So effectively, there are going to be good and bad parts of everything you do. That is inevitable. That is life, right? But you have to be able to turn your sunshine around in order to start making changes in your life, right? So if you don't like your job, how can you start making changes so that you get into a career that doesn't drain you quite as much? So you either don't need to so much as you don't need to restore before you get home, and then eventually, how can you find a job or land yourself into a job that actually does, or how do you make your job, something that makes you feel fulfilled and actually fuels your tank? Because ideally, human goal should essentially be to create this funnel that benefits them, right? That regenerates them and that makes that vibration higher. So if you're in a job currently that pays well, that you can't leave, right? Now, obviously, you always try and fix what you have first. You don't need to necessarily just throw everything away, because everything does take work. Everything does take effort. You can't just snap your fingers and expect it to be changed all like that. That's just not how life happens. That's not how it works. But what it does mean, sorry, that's my chair. Or maybe it wasn't. Just kidding. But if you are in a job that you don't like and it's not fueling your tank or filling your tank, right? How are ways that you can either change your mindset or change the outcome or change the radically accept the fact that that is a shitty piece and, we can't change that, right? Or if you're in a job that there were too many things that you can't change, or you just quite frankly don't want to, right? What is a career or a job that you would want to have to fill your tank? What fills your tank the most? And how can you make money doing that? That should be your job, right? What fills your tank the most, gives back to society, and pays you to continue to learn something that interests you. Because you always have to be a student, and one of the best ways to learn is to teach. So how can you learn more about what you love to become an expert in the field? How can you use it to benefit society and teach to others your craft or your skill or what you've learned? How can you give back? And you just gotta make sure not to sell yourself short, right? Value that expertise. Give some away to the community, because that's how you're gonna grow. But don't sell yourself short. Don't want to give everything away for free. You gotta have different layers. You gotta have your first layer where it's your tidbits, your free bits, right? The free bits. Those are the free bits that you put on social media that spark interest. And then the, pop-up classes that I'm doing that are we gotta get to that. But anyway, so how do you create a life that fuels your tank, fills your tank, makes you feel a little bit better, helps you give back, makes you money, and it gives you a schedule that works with you, right? Like, you know, or if you have to work a shitty schedule, can you find the beauty in that shitty schedule? Like, I'm realizing that the month of June right now is, or the last 2 weeks of June, the first 2 weeks of July, that's when I should be traveling and seeing family. And ultimately I will be when I have a family, but I just don't have a family yet. So for now I should be traveling, finding me, figuring out who I am. So maybe that's what I need to do, at least for this next year. Let's figure out how I do that. Because I'm, quite frankly, sick and tired of my own family, and I don't really want to fix anything. The relationships I have are the relationships I have, and I understand that it's a two-way street, and I have done my bits. Turn your sunshine around. Basically means, how can you make the best of a bad situation? How can you learn about yourself or the world around you, or both? How can you self-soothe to make the situation better for yourself in the moment, right? Also to prevent doing damage to those you love or hurting those you love. And how can you self-soothe to get out of that moment of discomfort, to find clarity and find grounding within yourself? And how do you use that experience to do better, right? How can you learn from that experience? Or how can you grow from that experience? Let's turn your sunshine around. Oh, we have to start all the way on the ground though. Well, okay, can you see me here? But we have to check. Right, so I'm gonna do this yoga thing, right? Memorize. So, part 1, I'm going to memorize the sequence. Once I know that I have the sequence down, then I'm going to remember inhale, exhale, because that will be the first thing. Because it's always breath, then action, then body part, then body part than what? Location. Right? So, I'm going to piece those things on one thing at a time. Right? So the first thing first is sequence. I have to remember the sequence. The more times I do it, the more times I will remember it. So, part 1, essay. I don't even know what that means. I hope I'm not being offensive. That was like my biggest fear about posting on social media, is that I don't want to be offensive to everybody. Everybody's so fucking offended by everything. Everybody's so fucking offended. And then, like, that is my issue with social media, is the fact that everybody's offended by everything. And there's so many different stigmas around it that, like, how the fuck are you supposed to navigate that shit? So, let's go to the sequence, shall we? All right, friends, come visit with me. I got yoga coming up. I got, check out my pop-up classes.